Yeah, it's me, Jackie Murray. Let's fill a bathtub full of sweat. All right.
G'day and welcome to the Game Plan Online. It's our first edition of this online footy preview. We're going to do this every year as part of the Murray Pioneer and the Game Plan. I'm Nick Dillon and this is our panel, Paul Mitchell, the Murray Pioneer editor, former Barwon Monash Football Club president Martin Hill, and Renmark A-grade football captain Trevor Thorpe. So welcome aboard, boys.
G'day, gents.
Thanks, mate. Firstly, the Turtle, how's things going, mate? Now you're out of the footy club and not so much involved anymore. I'm sure you're pretty relaxed now, and I'm sure the missus is pretty happy too.
Yeah, well, the way she's carrying on, I wouldn't mind getting back to the footy club, to be honest. But yeah, no, I have stepped back a little bit this year, and after sort of 8 years as president there, still got some involvement, as you do, with footy clubs. It never goes away. You've always got a passion. So, but this year I've stepped back a little bit, so I'm enjoying that, and there's some good blokes down there. They'll take it on, and looking forward to another big season of RFL.
Awesome. I imagine you'd be pretty proud of your achievements.
Yeah, I guess so. You know, we never missed finals over those years. I think early on we did once, but yeah, probably would have liked a couple more flags on the wall. You know, playing in 4 and only getting 1 was perhaps a little disappointing, but certainly success across all the grades has been pretty good, and the club's in a reasonable position for a town that's pretty small. That's
excellent. And Trev, how's things going out of the Renmark, mate? Ready to get rock and roll for the game against Wakery?
Yeah, we are, mate. We can't wait. It's been a long pre-season, as they always are. Yeah. But I think we're ready to go, and we're looking alright, hopefully, for tomorrow.
Yeah. So, very good. Now, obviously, you got the big signing of Justin Bollenhagen. I think that's how you say it. Yeah. But not playing tomorrow. He's with the Crows. So, but can you tell us a little bit about his brother, because he's playing tomorrow?
Yep, that's it. Picked up both of them, which is a good bonus for our club. Justin obviously being on Frio's list, he was lucky enough to play a few games for them. Mm-hmm. Getting him over and just his experience and what he can bring to the clubs should be pretty good for us as well. Yeah. As I said, he's not playing tomorrow. I think he's basically on a week-to-week basis of whether the Crows pick him or not. So hopefully the majority of the weeks for us, he turns out for us, and not for the Crows will be good. But his brother, Jared, he's a good lad as well. He's a couple of years younger. Yep. Probably a little bit bigger build than what Justin is. Mm-hmm. I think he can basically play anywhere. I think at Hackham last year he was used in the ruck and an extra on baller as well, big body on baller. Yep. But I think we're going to play him down back and use him on the ball as well. So, but yeah, both the lads are real good lads and fit him well so far.
Very good. Other than that, mate, how's things travelling along with the other recruits? You've got Jakey Blackwell, you've got who else you got the name of Matt Halsey, is that correct?
Matt, yep.
Coming
Matty as well.
Straight into the middle?
Yeah, Matty as well. He's another bloke we picked up. He was at Westies doing their pre-season, but I think just due to commitment, he couldn't commit to their 5 nights a week training, so we're lucky enough to get him up here as well.
He's living here, or is he?
No, he's living in Adelaide. He's another travelling player, so he's just going to come down. He's come down for a couple of our trials already, and looks pretty handy. Obviously, we've lost Walks at the moment, whether he stays at Centrals, but Matty plays a similar role to him. He's not built like Walks, but he's a wiry on baller.
I don't think anyone's built like Walks.
No, he's a fair tank. So, but he's an on baller that finds plenty of the ball.
He wasn't far outside of the best players at Edwardstown most of last year.
Okay.
How are you going to go for points?
No, I think
when everyone's in.
I think we're only at 12, I reckon. Okay. Plus, I think the rules are this year if you play the 18s, you can only lose 2 points, which I think we're down to 10. Yep. So I think we can still
pretty safe.
Yeah.
So is it still 15 points this year?
It's 15. Yeah, still 15. Okay. But I think previous years, if you've played juniors under 18s, you lose a point for every under 18 you play. But I think they've capped it at 2 this year. So
right. So you can't just stack 4 or 5 under 18.
No. But I think we're pretty much still fair way under.
So a little bit of room, mate, to work with. Still could pick someone up mid-season, perhaps.
Would be very handy. But we've got some. You said Jakey as well. A couple other guys moved back to the region as well. Josh Howard's another one down in Mintha. So Toddy Bennett as well is back from travelling. So all those guys should fit in well, hopefully.
Yeah, beautiful. And what's it like around the footy club at the moment, mate? Is there good feeling around the place?
Yeah, definitely. Obviously we had a bit of success early last year and then faded away at the end of last year, so we're a bit disappointed about that. So we're just keen as to get back into it and hopefully prove that we can play finals footy again and be right up the top.
So what happened last year? Because obviously it was 6 and zip.
Yeah.
And things fell away pretty quickly.
Yeah,
Losing Sam Bamford obviously hurt you guys, but to go from 6 and zip to the way you guys ended the year wasn't real great, was it?
Nah, it was pretty disappointing. It was pretty close to the top 4 teams, pretty much on the day. Anyone could have walked away with that premiership, I think. But losing Sam was pretty much one of our hard guys in Nunda. We've got a lot of outside players, but having that guy and Peter Siddle as well, which he went away to the Mines halfway through the year, just losing those two, hurt us a little bit just for that bit of grunt around the ball.
Yep.
So.
I know Barmer have been in that position before, and sometimes it depends on the year before that you've had. So if you're down the low, you need to be up and running from round one and winning games. Whereas your Wakeries and your Locks and Norths tend to ease into the season a bit more. So it can be an imbalance there at the start of the year, and it sort of does even itself out a little bit.
Yeah, which I guess it did last year with Wakery coming home pretty strong.
Yeah.
Trev, with yourself, your own game, you've won the last 2 Pioneer trophies for the season.
Yeah.
Now you'd be one of the fittest guys at Renmark, I would think, and perhaps one of the fittest guys in the league. Can you just, for my own interest, talk me through what you would do during the week, during the off season? What sort of K's you'd be running, and what sort of,
Yeah, I think when I was a bit younger, I used to take it for granted a bit. So I think as you get a bit older, you do rely on a bit more fitness and that. You can't just go out there week to week because obviously you cop injuries and stuff like that. But normally pretty much as soon as footy finishes, I pretty much start again. So and during footy season as well, so I go to the gym 4 days a week. So I go in the morning before work and basically do a 5k run in the morning, do weights, and then normally go for a run at night as well. Basically do that 4 to 5 times a week. And then in the footy season, once pre-season comes around, pretty much still do the same program, and then the training at night again. So
It's full on.
but you definitely notice a difference. So just doing that little bit extra definitely helps out. So
Oh, good on you.
And I hear that on your recent honeymoon over in America, you're wearing some pretty awful Hawaiian shirts.
Well, had to fit in with the locals. So.
Good times, eh?
Yeah.
Recently married, obviously, to Danica.
Yeah, got married to Danica last year, which was a real good day. And then we went over to America last year for our honeymoon, and went to Hawaii as well on the way home. And had to get one of those Hawaiian tops. I copped a bit of crap about it, but if you didn't wear one, you didn't fit in. So
fair enough.
It's all downhill from here, Trevor.
I had heard that.
Right, so we'll get stuck into the opening round of matches, starting with the Riverland A-grade games. So Mitch, you want to run us through some of the ins and outs for Barmer and Berry for the game at Berry?
Look, this is as of a few weeks ago. This list
probably
would be.
A couple that could be updated.
I guess we've got the weekend one to go on as well. But Turtle will know most of the Berry Barmer names, being across like he is. So Berry ins, we've got Ryan Porter, who's obviously a very, very good player. Now that should be that's wrong, isn't it? That should be
no, that's right.
That's right, is it?
Jared Brock.
Jared Brock, sorry,
from Pinaroo, I think.
Dylan Brooks. Now Grady Obst. Do you know much about him? I've heard he's an absolute gun.
Yeah, Mundalla boy, who I got to admit the Roos did chase him as well, but he is the brother-in-law of Ridgway's wife, I believe. So that got him the leg in a berry, but hard-nosed. I think he was either captain or vice captain, best and fairest winner. So really strong on baller that Berry really, really need. They probably needed that in the last couple of seasons. So he'll be an absolute gun, I would imagine, in this league. Maybe along the lines of Shane Walker, perhaps. Perhaps not as outside as Shane, but I reckon by all accounts he's a gun.
So they look like Berry's main ins, but we understand there might be a few more in the pipeline. Dillo, is that right?
Possibly, yeah. They're looking pretty strong, to be honest, Berry.
Mumford in their trial games,
Scotty Mumford,
he's talked about
another
him
one.
a bit. They reckon he's kicked a few goals, so he's a big fella from Salisbury West, I reckon he come from.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Big bloke, they said.
Yeah, there's big reps on him down there.
Yeah.
Obviously got Jamie Milburn back as well.
Yeah.
He holds down a spot across half forward and sort of has a real crack at everything up there, so he's a good in for him too.
Yeah, well, they've named Mumford at full forward in their team for as much, whatever that's worth.
And another Salisbury West lad in Ongley as well. I believe it's a Div 4 team, so really hard to line up form sometimes. But look, obviously Berry's seen something in those two lads, so they should go all right.
And the outs, we had Andy Hyland, a bit of a cult hero from last year.
Big Cheese.
Big Cheese, Chad Hamilton and Adam Wilson as the outs. So Berry looking stronger, you'd think, on paper. So we'll see how that pans out from tomorrow onwards. Now, Barmer Monash in Turtle. Turtle, can you pronounce that name for us? Justin
Shahinger.
Shahinger, right.
Yeah, a lad from Hamley Bridge who went and played a few games at North Adelaide. So he's mainly Resi's, but he did play some league games there. So he's a big unit, about 6'5", and I guess along the lines of a Reed Beeching type from Wakery.
Yeah.
Something that Barmer probably hasn't had for a long time. Just a big ruckman that can sort of work around the ground a little bit. So he'll certainly be a value.
You had Sam Daniel lined up last year, didn't you? He was tall, and obviously that didn't quite work out.
Yeah, he had a fusion in his back, so he haven't had much luck in sort of those pre-season recruits with Chris Bonny going down again this year. So, that was certainly an aim, I think, of the boys to recruit big if they could, which is difficult.
Now, this guy's going to be interesting. Stuart Ferenci, centre half forward type. Yep. From Carrignarricourt Tatiara League.
Yeah, that's right, and played in the River Murray Footy League as well. He's a bit of an enigma to himself. He's one of those sort of tattooed 6'2", I guess, type guys who look. He can clunk a footy. He's shown in the trial games he can certainly do that. Yep. So I think a lot of Barmer's forward movements will go through him. He might be a hard man to tackle in regards to who you're going to put on him as well, because he gets around pretty well around the ground and clunks as well. So some of the coaches will have to put some thought into him as well. So look, the Roos have got a very different looking side in the fact I think it's at least 7 players from last year's grand final side out of that team.
So that's a third of the team.
Unlike a couple of those other finals teams who have pretty much kept their main group. Barmer is very much a different looking team.
And Brad Rosensweig, always in the best players in the Mallee comp. This is a step up last year. Do you know much about him?
Not a lot. I've seen a couple of trials. He hasn't looked out of sorts at all. He'll play A-grade footy, no doubt. So whether that's down back or up forward, I think he'll hold his own okay. So as with Barmer, who are really probably struggling for depth, he'll be a handy inclusion.
And just quickly, some of the outs. Michael Smart, been a great player for many years. You've been a big fan of his, I know, Turtle. Mao Greenwood, gone back to the Barossa League somewhere down there.
Yeah, he's a back at Tanunda now. Whether he's playing or not, I'm not sure. But
Lockie Middleton, Jack Self having a crack with Westies, is that right? And Zach Butterworth gone to Marook.
There's some big outs.
Yeah, so Jack Self and Lockie Middleton went down to Strathalbyn. I think you'll find whether Jack's still having a go at Westies, I'm not sure.
Strathclyde, I reckon they're at.
So that's down with the Elliott boys down there, so they've sniffed him out and got him down there. And I guess the other one is a little bit forgotten is Josh Pueka, who seems to be having trouble with that knee again. He's unlikely to, at this point he's sort of not on the radar. Jakey Smith's someone who was, there's been a question mark over him. I believe he's named tomorrow though.
Yeah, he's named tomorrow. So.
And looks like a lot of under 18 lads in that side tomorrow.
Yeah, five under 18, so that's probably proving that Barmer aren't trying to get their points down because they don't get extra points for that. But young Carpeney, who I believe might have made his debut with Berry, but lightning quick young fella who come across to Barmer in the middle of last season. He's going to be interesting to see how he goes. He'll be one to watch, and all the other kids that Barmer have got playing have had a run before, apart from Brandon Wundenberg, a lad up from under 18. So he's his debut. So he's a wiry lad. His old man was a bit of a rough nut, but he's nothing like him. He can actually play the game.
Harsh but fair. Okay, so we better have some tips on this game. That's what we'll do, Dillo. We'll go along the panels. Is that what you want to do?
Yeah, I'll go first if you like. I'm gonna go Berry, just purely on the ins. There were times last year where Berry were, I think they beat Barmer early on in the season last year. So I think these guys coming in, minimal losses, and Barmer's got a few losses. I reckon Berry's a big chance of knocking them off. Okay, I'm going to tip Barmer Monash.
Yeah, I don't disagree with the Berry thing. They're going to be up and about early. Barmer are going to try a little slide a late recruiting that's not named anywhere. So if he plays, I think it might balance up there. He's not a big name, but they're trying to get him in that back line. So if Wendy gets that clearance through today, I'd say Barmer might be a bit more short up, and maybe they've got enough to Timber to get over the line.
Can't divulge any more on that one, Turtle?
No, mate. No, moving on.
I did hear about that this morning at the gym today, actually. It's back or something?
Yeah, that's right.
Big fella again.
I don't know how. I think he might be a 6'2".
I'm with Barmer there as well. I reckon they're going to have too much height. But Berry, and they've still got that bit of a core group there too. So, I'm with Barmer.
Very good. All right, moving on to the next game. We've got Loxton North v Loxton, the Loxton Derby out there. So we'll just quickly have a look at Loxton North. They've obviously got Matt Wolford coming into the midfield there, dual male medalist from up north. Going to be a pretty handy inclusion. Michael Panel, I believe that's the brother of Tim, that played for North for a season, I think. And Lockie Henschke was a big in for North, coming back from Westies. Last time he played in the RFL, we obviously won the best first year player and had an outstanding season. So they'll be looking for a big year out of him. But the outs as well for Loxton North, Ben Walter and Daniel Prowder, pretty significant. I mean, Dan hasn't played huge amounts of the seasons, but he's a pretty integral part of that team. But Benny Walter,
He was good last year, wasn't he?
he's been really good for North.
It's a hard matchup.
Yeah, and that's what every club says. Is he's a hard matchup, because he's just the way he plays. He's not an overly big fella, but
he can jump and he's quick.
Yeah, so
But Lockie Henschke, I think, will sort of cover that loss, I reckon.
yeah, definitely.
The way he played before he went away, he only would be better than that, you would think. So, he'll be a star if he gets up and about.
Well, they've named him full forward tomorrow.
Okay.
So they're full. Sorry, hang on. It might be centre half
Centre
forward.
half.
Actually, I reckon they've got Baz at full forward, don't
Yeah.
they? Yeah. So, there's a ready-made replacement centre half forward there. Loxton, geez, they could be anything this year. Some big ins with Ben Gordon, Nathan Peterson Gray, Jason Turner is one I want to talk about. Now, apparently this guy can seriously play. Did his knee about a month ago, I think. But apparently it wasn't as bad as they all thought, and he's named to play tomorrow in the midfield. And have you guys heard much about Jason?
Did one medal? Was he the one from there or not?
Yeah, right.
Turner?
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Was he from Henley?
No, he wasn't Mandura, that brought Mandura up north there, but
I reckon he was at Henley as well. I reckon he did one medal in 2010 at Henley too. I think.
yeah,
so
and a Gun Junior as well.
Yeah.
So he's I think they're playing him down a bit. They're trying to talk up a couple of their other recruits in Nathan Peterson Gray and Ben Gordon.
Yeah.
But I think you're right. Jason Turner might be the one that that slips into that midfield and takes the pressure off your end, and because he's been a one-man band a little bit with help from Kriegs. But the other two boys, Gordon and Peterson Gray from Mount Lofty, I mean, their footy is nothing like our footy.
No.
They play on poachers stamp grounds, and it'll be interesting to see how they come across. And this sort of weather we've got today might suit them. But you have to be up and about and be able to run across the ground up in our league.
Yeah,
so
that's right.
let's see how they go.
I hear Gordon. I think it might be Gordon that has an interesting kicking style too.
Okay.
So it'll be interesting to see
Well,
how
the boys in the Loxton North shed will pick up on that.
Yeah,
really
that won't take
quickly.
them too long. Another one they picked up, I think, or they put a transfer through for this week, is a bloke by the name of Joel Brown from the Southern Footy League. I don't know much about him, but he's named tomorrow, so keep an eye on him as well. The major losses, we've got Chris Papagiorgio, obviously, from the midfield. They were saying they were going to lose Tom Tahini, but it looks like he's playing tomorrow now. He was having a crack down at the SANFL, but he's in. So now they've got minimal losses too. I can really see them improving and making the forward this year.
And Raff back in there as well.
Yeah,
he's a big in for them too.
Definitely.
So you want to go some tips this one as well?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm sort of 50-50 on this one. I'm just going to stick with North, just because they've been playing together for a long time. Most of these guys are going to be used to each other, and it's going to take Loxton a little while to settle, I think. But I think that this game could go either way. But North for me.
Okay, I'm going to go with North because they've got a Lidgerwood in their team, so that's good enough for
Yeah, they have, and they have got a couple of good young kids with young cells as well. Those two boys were real rangy sort of lads, based on the day, and that it's at Loxton North. The tall timber of Loxton may not come into this, but that's where their key is. If they can keep their tools like Ryan Nichols and Adam Proud upright, when it's a good day, I think they'll do well. But North are too balanced and too stable for mine. I'll go with North.
I'm going the opposite. I reckon Loxton. Someone said to me that some of the older guys from North haven't done that much for the pre-season, haven't been out there, so whether that play a part early in the season till they can get their fitness base back up.
Fair enough.
So and all reports Loxton have been going alright with theirs, so I think Loxton.
And Loxton took it up to you guys a couple of times.
They did,
knocked
yeah.
you off?
I
just missed out, didn't they? Yeah, it was a close one.
They got close, yeah.
All right, we'll move on to so we've got 3 Norths and 1 Loxton there.
Yep.
So move on to Renmark and Waikerie, which is at Renmark. Some of the ins for Renmark, we spoke off camera about Justin and Jared Bolenhagen.
Yep.
and got one of them here tomorrow. Jake Blackwell, related to Brett Blackwell.
Yep,
Yeah,
Blackers.
half brother, I think.
Yep. Now some of the other ins, you'll have to help me with that,
Yeah.
Trev.
You're right. We got young Charlie Weiss coming up to play his first game of senior footy.
Yep.
He had a real good season in the 18s last year, still 18s this year, but he's another one of the young guys that's had a real good pre-season, so he's coming up to play on the wing for us, so hopefully adds a little bit more to that outside running top guys that we've got.
Yep.
And what else we got in there? We got young Brody Rosalie, played a little bit last year with us as well. I think he came up for 2 games last year, but he's only 17, I think, but he looks like about 25-year-old. He's a big built kid, big strong body.
4 goals against Wakefield last year.
He did kick 4 goals against Wakefield last year. He's got a real good set of hands and real good kick on goal. So he's starting at full forward for us. And basically, we've got some other young kids still. Percy was in there last year as well, and then we've still got pretty much our core group from last year, so which is good. And a couple of local guys that have moved back to the area that have had a good pre-season, having a crack at A-grade footy as well. So we should hopefully shape up all right. I think we've still got a few out. Tim Bright, he's probably not available for another 4 games. He had a bit of an operation about 4 or 5 weeks ago on his heart, so he's going to miss the first few games. And Farah is away working in the mines, so I think he's 2 on, 1 off. So we do lack a little bit of height without having him there, but gives young Zach Archery an opportunity in the ruck. So
Farah's name in the Bees tomorrow. Is he going to play Bees or?
I don't think he's here. No, I'm pretty sure he's away because he was here last weekend. So I'm pretty sure he's away for the next 2. So I think that's why his roster works out. So yeah.
So will Danny Murphy come off the bench and give Gartrey a bit of a spell?
We'll use Danny off the bench, depending on how they go as well. Because they've got a couple of big boys as well. So if Reid goes down forward, we'll probably put Denny down forward to follow him, just to.
Denny's got a bit of bungle about him.
Match up.
Especially compared to
a couple of years ago when he actually matched up pretty well on Reid. He just when Reid went forward, we put Danny on him and didn't go too bad on him. So
Waikerie.
Amos.
Yeah.
Where's Amos gone?
Amos is here.
He's here, is he?
Amos is here, and he's going to play.
He's named. So fingers crossed. I think it'd be good for the game if Amos plays. Amos and his mate Nelson Peters.
We're talking about Amos Frank, for anyone who doesn't know. Was on Hawthorn's list. Didn't play a game, but apparently it would be a pretty exciting footballer here. Turtle being a Hawks man.
I'd imagine so. If he's up and about and he's played around the place a little bit, so he knows his footy. It'd be interesting to inject something back into our league. I think it is exciting. I agree.
Jared Byrne from Newry, another in, and
former Wakery player, Jared Byrne. He's played there.
And look, we can probably expect. Who knows with Wakery, they tend to unearth a few gems closer to the June 30 deadline, don't they? So we'll see what happens there. Outs, well, some big names, particularly Glenn Schreiber. Is that how you pronounce it?
It is.
Thanks. Yeah. Adam Brandler and Tristan Geem. So, and there might be one or two more missing from last year's grand final side as well.
Oh, Geem's not out, is he?
I think he's playing, but there was talk of him playing at Westies.
Sure.
So how much they see of him, we're not sure. So
they lost Wilson as well. Yeah, I think they have lost a few that they have replaced.
Matt Wilson.
Matt Wilson as well. Yeah.
I think Brandler's was really good for him last year once he got a little bit of fitness, and look, he got best for Waralla last week, so he's someone who I think quite a big little bloke, but really well skilled and quite quick, and he'd be someone that'd be hard to replace. But
I think Strives will be a big loss for him as well. He just adds that bit more strength with Braun down back, and he's a stopper as well. Like when he takes the ball, he stops the play, gets them going, he creates a lot from back there for them as well. So I reckon it'd be a big loss for them too.
Yeah. One thing we know about Wakery, they'll be around the mark. How long since they missed the finals? How many years now, Dilo?
I think we're looking close to 30. I think it's about 28 years.
Jeff Gay would have been playing under 14.
I bet he still had that mo too. So it's been a long time since Wakery's missed out, and so you expect them to be around the mark again, I think.
Let's have some tips for this one, fellas. Start with you.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Wakery. Sorry, Trev, but they've lost a few guys, but the guys coming in, I think, are more than capable replacements. And I just really hope Amos Frank just turns it on this season and shows us a bit of what he's capable of. You, Mitch?
Well, look, I tipped Wakery in the game plan, but since Trev's been here and it's been in my ear, I'm going to tip Renma.
Give you a 6-pack of Crownings before too, I know.
I've got him under here. So I'm going for the Rovers, yeah.
Yeah, look, I'm a bit along Mitch's lines a little bit. I think if you're going to grab Wakery, you get them early, and I think there's always an opportunity to do that with Wakery because they do ease into the year. But they just look very settled and a bit like the Loxton boys. I think Renmark might take a little bit of time just to sort themselves out, perhaps. So there's not a lot in this. I wouldn't think, but I'll stick with the Pies.
And you guys normally play pretty well up at home against Wakery too, don't you?
we do. Yeah, we tend to like our bigger oval. We've got a pretty big oval there, so we tend to like playing at home as well. Obviously I'm going to go for us. Hopefully we can get off to a good start. I know our boys are keen as to get into it, so hopefully that can show tomorrow.
Very good. All right, well, we'll quickly run through the independent games tomorrow. Obviously, we've only got 3 this year because we're back to 7 teams, which is a bit unfortunate, losing BSR. But we start off with Cobby and Ramco, which I'm actually really looking forward to seeing what Ramco is capable of this year. They recruited a bunch of guys from Adelaide. A guy by the name of Brenton Reedy, who played at Goody Saints. I think he's about 38, but in the independent comp, that
spring chicken.
Yeah, that's right. And a guy by the name of Robert O'Gorman, who can apparently play too. From I think he's from Mawson Lakes, and they haven't lost too much. So I reckon, and against Cobby, who are
struggling for
numbers a bit, and lost some big players. Darryl Tilbrook's been an institution down there for a long time, and Lukey Wags and a bunch of others. I can't see them matching it with Ramco. What do you boys think?
I'll go Ramco. Not on much information, so we'll just wait and see.
Yeah, I'm the same as Mitch on Ramco. A couple of Barmer the lads who were playing at Barmer in Yates and Wiseman I think have been cleared or in the process of back to Cobby, so might give them a little bit of depth. Hopefully they can get a side together and stay on the park.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm saying Ramco, just with the couple of ins, what you've read about them, they should be pretty handy.
Yep, very good. Mitch?
Okay, we're going to Lurip versus Paringa, traditional rivals in this competition, no love lost. Dillo, of course, coaches Paringa. And we'll go to Lurip first, perhaps. Lost Tyson Lindsay and Travis Wilson, which is huge in this comp in particular. A couple of ends, we've got a Sam Atkins and Kenny Swinton. And for the Swans, you spoke about Pete Siddle before. Yeah. He was a good player last year when he was playing. Yeah, so you'd imagine he'd be pretty good in the independent.
He should be. He's a real hard nut and puts his head over the ball. I think he should go pretty well for Dillo's team, for the Swannies there.
And Tyson Rowe.
He's another Renmark.
Another Renmark. Yeah. Sorry, Trev.
And then
that's pretty handy.
Aaron Tripney and Tom Fran amongst one or two others. Let's have some tips here. Dillo, we know who you're tipping, the Swans.
Yep.
I'm going to go with the Swans. Martin?
Yeah, I might go against the flow a little bit since Dillo's stealing all the RFL players. He'd be worse than Marook soon.
Zing.
There it is. No, I might stick with the Lurip boys. I think, I know they're a big loss, the 2 boys that left to go on that the Adelaide development squad, but no, they're a pretty close unit down there. I'll go with the Lions based on the fact I know nothing.
Sammy Atkins is a good pickup for him as well.
Yeah, sure.
Boys would have seen a bit of him at Berries.
Yeah. No, I'm going with Pringer as well. I reckon, a bit too strong.
Yeah, undefeated apparently.
Yeah.
Sorry, I told her I wouldn't say that. We can edit that bit out.
Right, last game of the round. We've got Brownswell and Wonka. Now, this one could be an absolute belter. 2 Mallee teams are just on the verge of really something special, I think. Wonka hasn't won the flag since '76 and Brownsville hasn't won it since 2000, so they're the longest droughts in independent football, I think, in all football in Riverland. So it should be a good battle. I think Brownsville have picked up some big names. A bloke by the name of Paul Kinnaird from Pinaroo. Brycey Victor's back from Loxton. And then there's a bunch of other guys that have sort of filtered into the side as well, of B-grade players from around the place. Jason Berg is another one. He used to play for East Murray, and he's quite a handy guy to come in as well. And Wonka, they've hardly lost to anyone except for Shane Schultz, who reportedly is playing B-grade for Loxton this year, while his son's over there playing. But they've picked up Harley Bennell. He's one to watch out for the medal, I think, this year. But he hasn't played here in a couple of years, but he's been playing up in the NT, and he can seriously play. Geordie Franks has come across. Simon Hucks is out of retirement. Wonka are looking really, really good at the moment, I think. So, yeah, I think Wonka to get up just. in this one.
Yep, I'll go with Wonka and Mick Durden on his third or fourth year there at Wonka
It's his
now.
third year.
Yep. So good luck to Mick again. I'll go with Wonka.
Yeah, probably Wonka aside on the up. Young Trent Crockett, Barmer and Monash,
Yeah.
seconds player, did play an A-grade game for the Roos in the Brownswell side, so he might be okay as well.
Yeah,
He's a
definitely.
fit young lad. So, but no, I think Wonka might be one of the sides to beat this year in the Indies.
Yeah, Wonka as well. I don't know much about either of the two teams, but by the sounds of Wonka should be alright. Should be a close game, though.
Yep, very good. Well, that's all the games. That's about it from us. The only thing we'll mention is we'll just grab a copy of this at the footy tomorrow. It's the round one version of the game plan. As you can see, the beautiful man Trevor Thorpe on the front
That's
cover
better.
with yellow
That's
captains. $3.50 at the ground. Don't get much better value than this at your local footy as far as budgets go. So grab a copy at the footy tomorrow. So thank you very much. Thanks to Mitch, Turtle, and Trev, and we'll see you next week.
Thanks, Dilo.
Thank you.
Come on, girl. Yeah. It's me, Jackie Murray. Let's fill a bathtub full of sweat.